All right, so a prompt for today, guys. Let me go and read it out loud to you so you have a better understanding of what it is that I'm going to be asking you for the next about 10 minutes or so. Let's get ready. A rectangular lot whose perimeter is 360 feet is fenced along three sides. Now understand that this particular statement can be confusing, but I did say that the entire perimeter, which is all four sides, is 360 feet. However, I only want you to fence just three sides. And which side specifically? Well, here it is. An expensive fencing along the lot's length costs $20 per foot, and an inexpensive fencing along the two sides widths costs $8 per foot. So that means I only want you to fence one length and two widths. Do we all agree with that one? Okay. The total cost of the fencing along the three sides comes to $3,280. What are the lot's dimensions? And that, guys, will be our final question for the day. What are the lot's dimensions? And notice you are working towards that, and we'll see what the lot's dimensions are going to be. Let's take a look. So my first question is I'm going to be posting up here and see that you can actually answers. And if you feel like you're competent to answer, just raise your hand. And if you don't think you're knowledgeable enough, or maybe you want to wait until the next one, it's okay to just relax. So here's the first questions. This is to everyone here in front of me. The first question is, based on the problem, okay, now that you've read the problem through, what's the first thing that you have to do? Did you see who raises their hand first?
Jennifer did.
Jennifer did. Okay, Jennifer, sure. I know she knows how to do that. Okay, Jennifer, what do you always do first after you're done reading the problem?
Name the variable.
Ah, so can you help me now, please?
X would equal the length of the rectangle
Okay.
in feet, and Y would equal the width of the rectangle.
Okay, so notice that Jennifer's deciding to use X and Y, right? What else can actually use? Let's say I'm not asking you to graph this time. What else would you have used?
L and W.
Okay, good. Let's use that. L would be what?
The
The length. Okay. And W would be your width. Thank you. Have a seat. You're done.
Oh no.
Simple, right? Dude, that's why you gotta raise your hand simply, right? See? Was that simple?
Yeah.
Wait, do we all agree that the first thing that we do
Yeah.
for our problem is pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
And so I expect you to at least do something like that when you're at home. Don't bring back to class with an empty piece, blank sheet of paper. It's not good. Okay, so now that we have this right here, let's go through with some background information. According to the problem, how many sides and which side am I expecting you to fence? Okay, Emma Preet.
You have to fence three sides, and one of them is the length and two widths.
Okay.
So the length is 20.
Well, I'm just asking you a very simple
Okay.
question. All right, so here's a follow-up question. According to the problem, what's already given?
The whole perimeter is 300.
Okay, so you're saying the whole perimeter, right? Can you follow up with, what is the definition of a perimeter, of a rectangle?
All four sides.
All four sides. Can you be more specific than that?
Of the outside of all four sides.
I know, can you be more specific than that with all four sides? What size?
Length. Is it both of the lengths and both of the
Ah, okay. So, let's continue. So you're saying that all four sides of the rectangle will be how many lengths?
two lengths.
Okay, and how many widths?
Two.
And okay, so if you want to find the perimeter of that particular lot, what should it equal to?
Length.
You just told me that the perimeter is already given, right? And you also know that the perimeter involves how many sides?
Four.
And specifically, what side are involved?
Two lengths and two widths.
Okay, so do you agree? First equation, what do you think you should do with that? You know what the perimeter is for this particular problem. So how do you use that information to help you come up with the first equation?
X plus Y equals 360.
Well, look at our definition.
Oh, L squared. Wait. I'll times 2, length times L times 2.
Okay, say it.
L times 2 plus W times 2 equals 360.
So instead of writing L times 2, can we write this? Yes?
Yeah.
Isn't the coefficient in front of the variable instead? Agree? Thank you. Look at the first equation. Is that hard to define? Is it actually within your knowledge that you know this already before you start the problem? That we know how to find the perimeter of a rectangle, right? And because I already give you the perimeter of this particular rectangle lot, I can just use the basic definition of the perimeter formula. 2 times L, which is the 2 length, plus 2 width, add up to the entire rectangle perimeter, right? Okay, so here's my next question now. We know that we only need to fence 3 sides of the rectangle, and Emma Preeter told us that for this particular rectangle, I'll just go ahead and draw you a figure, and hopefully you can actually see. For this particular rectangle,
A square.
that's not a square. For this rectangle right here, imagine this black part right here is the wall, so you don't have to fence that part. You are fencing 2 widths and 1 length. So do you agree that this would be the scenario? You all 4 agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the specific questions. How much does it cost to fence the length side of the rectangle? And how much does it cost to fence the width side of the rectangle? Carmela.
For the expensive fencing for the length,
Uh-huh.
it's $20 per foot,
Okay.
and then for the width, it's $8 per foot.
Okay, so here's my question for you. And hopefully you will start asking yourself when you start solving the problem. Do we know the exact length for the rectangle yet?
No.
So if we don't know the exact, can we just give ourselves a little scenario like, Carmela, what if I fence 10 feet in length? How much do I have to pay for that 10 feet? How did you get that answer?
You multiply it
By?
10.
Can you tell me what to write?
20.
So $20 per foot, okay.
20 L. 20 times L.
The problem I gave you.
20 times 10.
Okay, 20 times 10, and you got
200.
$200, okay? And so what if I change my entire one is fence 30 feet in length? What's my cost now?
$600.
And how did you get that?
$20.
$20. Okay,
Times 30.
times 30. And you said 600. What if I want to fence 100 feet?
$20.
Okay, so $20 again. Interesting.
Times 100.
Times 100. And the cost is? What do you think? 2,000. Okay. Do you see a pattern yet?
Yeah.
So that what could change and what has to stay constant throughout? What can change? Okay, yes.
It changes the of how much they're fencing, but the dollars can't change.
Okay, the dollar stays the same because it's okay, good. It's $20 per foot, but the length can change. Is that true? So because of that, we also know that because the length can change, that's why we declare it as a variable. Isn't a variable represent something that could change? So instead of writing the exact amount, can we say that? So Carmela, going back to you one more time. Can we say that this is the length of this, which is represented L? How do you convert this to the cost of this length? How would you write it in terms of an expression?
So 20 times L.
Very good. So we just have to do that, and we're done. This will now be converted to the cost, right? Okay. And how would you apply that to the width as well? How much is per foot for the width?
$8 per foot.
So how do you change this?
So 8 times 30.
Okay. And over here, also AW. Thank you. We're done for that one. All right. So we have some background information about the problem. Let's put the whole thing together. Don't we have the costs for each side? Students? We do. Okay, so according to the problem, here's the next question, hopefully you can answer. According to the problems, how much did I end up paying for the entire, not the entire rectangle, but just 3 sides? Yes?
3,280.
Okay, so now, follow-up questions. How do you take that information, giving the cost for 3 sides here, and write an equation? What would you do now? You know that the cost for all 3 sides, right, will be $3,280. How do you take that information and write it into an equation? What would you write?
I don't know. We didn't get to the equation.
Well, it's not about you getting up to that equation right now. Listen to what I'm saying. The cost for all 3 sides will be how much?
3,280.
So how do you take that sentence right there and write it into an equation? The cost of all 3 sides is $3,280. How do you take that and write it into an equation?
Divide.
Interesting. When I say the cost of everything, you divide it.
Oh.
Huh. So when I say the cost of you spending your clothes on this Christmas, you divide.
No.
What do you do usually when you say the cost of everything? Interesting. So you see the operation is really important, right? So how would you take that and apply it to the problem? Well, isn't the problem tells you that the cost of all 3 sides add up to $3,280? Okay, so how would you take that and write it into an equation? Centino.
8W
Okay, so let's start with that. You say 8W what?
plus
Plus?
8W.
Wait, are they like terms?
Yeah.
Oh, so if 8W plus 8W, you're going to give you what? 16W. Okay, so can we say 16W? What else?
Plus 20.
Plus 20L. Interesting. Oh, do you know why I have to do this? Instead of writing W here, why do I have to make sure that the L will line up with the L? What am I setting you up for? Interesting. Why am I doing that already? What am I setting up you for? What am I setting up you? Setting up for? Okay, well, let's finish it up first. Equals how much?
3,280.
We have the 2 equations? Yes?
Huh?
Do you have the 2 equations? Do you agree that this is correct? Look, isn't this the feet? Dollar, dollar, dollar. You see how it works? Okay. Okay, thank you. Have a seat. All right, here's my next question for you. Down to the 2 of you. Interesting.
Oh, man.
We have 2 equations right here. What is our next step after we obtain 2 equations? Oh, Kelly. Uh-oh. Sorry, Kelly. That's not our first thing that we're going to do. You want to follow with that, Dylan?
Oh yeah.
What?
Uh,
What is the immediate step after having the 2 equations?
Like
What's it?
distribute the first equation by 10, so like make factor math.
No, come on, guys, come on. Okay, so you're still staying because you love to stay up here. So I'm going to ask the audience to hopefully share out your answers. Yes, Jerome. Huh? Once again, you're jumping way too far. All right, you need to remember what the question that's being asked every single time. Carmela. It's too far again. Once again,
Oh,
you're
never
not
mind.
following the directions. Okay, yes, Jennifer.
Decide which method to use.
Thank you. All you have to do is decide. Is it? Can you tell me what to do again? Is it what? Substitution or elimination. Don't even start with anything yet until you've decided, yeah, I want to go with substitution or elimination. In this case, I think we know what method we're heading towards, right?
Yes.
And so here is the next question for you. Which method are we using now?
Elimination.
Oh, too late. You didn't raise your hand. Kelly.
Elimination.
Elimination.
Yes.
So Kelly, if we're going to be using elimination, what factor made you pick elimination over substitution?
Because you have to eliminate to get to the final equation.
Not true. What made you decide that I want to go with elimination instead of substitution?
We have the same common multiple.
No.
Okay, let's go back out again. It seems like you want to stay longer. Okay. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Because it's lined up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They're all aligned. Wait, how many times have I asked you this already?
10.
Well, something like that, along that line. But is it the same thing that I ask every day? And yet, you're still jumping ahead. Why is that? One step at a time. I want to make sure it's correct. So because they're all aligned. Okay, if they're all aligned, we're all good. Which column would you like to get rid of?
Length.
Dylan, the length. Okay, so Dylan, if you're picking the length, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and circle that for you. Length. What is your next step after figure out that, hey, well, I want to get rid of the length column? What's the next step now? What do you need to find?
The least common multiple.
Thank you. LCM. So let's figure out what LCM is. What is the LCM? For 2 and 20.
20.
Thank you. And what do I need to change? Do I need to change both or just one?
Just 1.
Okay, which one specifically?
2 times L.
Okay, so how do I do that?
You multiply 2L by 20.
Just, by 20?
Wait,
By
no,
10.
10.
By 10. You just multiply the 2L only.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so the only thing that's going to be changing is the 2L. And the rest stays the same.
No.
What else do you have to do?
You also multiply the 2W by 10.
Just the 2W and the 2L?
No, I mean like distribute.
Oh, so you mean...
top equation by 10.
Okay, oh yeah, good. Then it's just say multiply everything.
Yeah.
Okay, see? Makes it simple. So we multiply everything by 10, right?
man.
Right? Is that true?
Yeah.
Wait, is this the first time we're doing this as well?
No.
No.
No, come on. All right, so let's do that. What do you have now, Dylan?
You have 20L
20L,
plus 20W
20W,
equals 3,600.
3600. So now, since we're not changing anything for the red equation, I'm just going to move it down, right? Okay. We are still trying to get rid of the L column, right? So thank you, Dylan. Have a seat. Kelly is the last man. Oh, no, sorry, last student standing. All right. So Kelly, now that we want to get rid of the L column, what operation would you choose to get rid of the L column?
Subtract,
Why subtraction?
because it will just equal to 0.
Can you add? Yeah, two. Oh, wow. So add or subtract the same? If you add the 2, what do you think the answer is going to be?
40.
So is that what we want? Okay, so subtract it is. So we're going to be subtracting. Is this the only thing we subtract?
No.
What else?
Everything.
Everything. Good. Huh. Do you see the pattern again? Okay, so we're subtracting. This will go away, right? Okay, next step. What's 20W minus 16W?
4.
For what?
4W.
Thank you. 4W. What's 3,600 minus 3,280?
320.
You're pressuring me.
I'm like, now you start playing that song. Go ahead.
Chicken nugget.
No, seriously, do it. Come on, what's 3,600 minus $3,280?
4.
It's not good.
It's okay. It's okay.
340.
Yes, thank you. Okay, 20. Okay, and last but not least, what do you do here?
Divide.
Divide. So what is the answer to the W?
1. I mean 6. 6. No.
No, it's
4 goes into 32. How many times? Okay, so what's your final answer?
80.
Just 8?
80.
80. 80 what?
$80.
Oh, feet. See, notice that I have to look back at my definition of W, right? Just to figure out that, wait, is W width is dollar? Or width is in feet? Okay, it's 80 feet in the width. How do I go back and figure out the length now? What's my last step?
Oh,
you plan.
What do I usually do after this step? Now I know what W is. Technically, W would take on what value?
length.
W would take on what number?
8.
Oh, so does that mean that I can replace W with? Okay, so what can I do with that now? What do you think?
To equal the
What's that step that we do after this?
plug it.
Oh, plug it in. Right, where? Yeah, I can plug it in anywhere? Where? Where?
Oh, man.
Yeah, which equation?
The second.
No. The first one.
Usually you pick the what equation to use?
Uno.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Would you like the hardest equation ever, or would you like the easiest question?
Easy.
Yeah, so which equation would be the easiest one to look at?
First.
Okay, so good. Okay, so I'm going to take the first one right there. 2 times L plus 2 times, oh wait, W, I know what the answer is, right? What is W again? Ah, I just replaced that with 80, and it should come out to be 360, right? What is 2 times 80?
160.
Okay, so 2 times L plus 160 equals to 360. How do I solve for L again? What do you do next? Subtract what?
2L.
I'm solving for L, that means I'm not moving it, remember?
Subtract 160.
Good, subtract 160. 2L equals to, what is 360 minus 160?
200.
200. And so I divide by 2 both sides. What is L? 100. What? So let's check to make sure. W plus length is 180. You have also another W in length, right? So 180 plus 180 is 360. It is also added to that much, 3,280 when you factor in the cost for each foot lengthwise and widthwise. Now, for those who asked the earlier questions, like Centino, Centino, remember that question you asked? What are the dimensions? Well, guess what? We just found our dimensions.
Oh, I know.
Dimensions are what again? Length and width of the figure. So the next time when I ask, find the dimension of this particular figure, well, let's figure out the size, please. Length and width. Okay, that's your dimension of your rectangle. Any questions at all? Thank you. Appreciate it, Kelly.
Yeah.